Howdy everyone, I'm Doug. I want to welcome you to the next Positive Gravity. Today we're going to get started with this piece of view. I'm a few weeks behind on my videos. I had to do some travel and then I came down with the COVID and that set me back a couple weeks. So anyway, I'm back up on my feet and ready to rock and roll. So let's work on this. I've been talking to my wife. She has been asking me for a magnetic pin dish. So we're going to go ahead and make one. First steps for this project are going to be to take this to the bandsaw and kind of square up the bottom of this piece of view. It's got a little bit of junk on the bottom here. We'll get rid of that. We'll square up the top. We'll change the bandsaw blade to a narrower blade. I have a 1-inch blade in there right now. That's too big to make this circle. We'll round it up. And once we get to that point, it'll be ready for the bandsaw, ready for the lathe. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the magnets yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. So other than that, there's nothing too particular about this. I think we're ready to go. So why don't we get started? Thanks for joining me, and don't forget, always enjoy that process. Sometimes that's all there is. Let's get going. Alright, so we need to be changing our saw blade. So this is a 1-inch resaw blade. Too big to do my 2.5-inch radius circle. So different blade widths are good for different circle sizes, and there's a chart that came with my lathe. You can see it maybe here. This is a 2.5-inch radius circle. So I want to use a 1/2-inch saw blade. And, there you go. So that's here, 1/2-inch saw blade. I'll have to see what I have. I have 3 blades, so I should have something in that vicinity. But we'll have to take this blade off, put a new one on, and then we can cut this. If you enjoy my videos and learn some things from them, or at least get some entertainment, the best way to support the channel is to hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and give it a whack. Thanks. I think I'm actually going to make 2 out of this. It's big enough. If I split it in half, I'll get 2. Let's do that. They're both going to be kind of hourglass shaped. So they'll end up splitting right about here. separated. Alright, so I just glued a piece of maple on here. Now I just need to find the center. So here I'm starting to work on the top of the larger of the two pin dishes. It's just going to be a shallow depression. I don't want it to have too steep of a sides or anything. It's just kind of a little depression in the top. Not really happy with the cracks in this one. I'm going to turn this down and get rid of those. So this is polishing with Dr. Kirk's polishing paste. It's a three-step, 3 different grit paste that you do in series, and does a nice job polishing up the U, putting a little shine on there while taking away any micro scratches that might be left. Now let's remove the tenon. Good enough for now. We got to figure out how we're going to do magnets and if we're going to do a foot or some rubber bumpers or what. So I'm going to take this one off. Get the foot off of this one. Close. Now the question is, how are we going to do magnets? Alright, so I just tried some pins on this. This has got 2 of the neodymium magnets. This is a 1/8 inch spacer block. And I put the pins on there, so that worked really well. So I'll probably just put 2 of these into each one, about 1/8 of an inch close to the surface. This is dished, so probably needs to be a little closer in the center and a little further out here. But I think it'll be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. The question now is, how? So I ended up opting to turn a channel, you can see there that circular channel, into the bottom of each piece. The magnets will go in there and then we'll cover that up with resin. All right, so I've got some Alumilite clear cast epoxy here that I'll be using. It's a 2-part epoxy, mixes 1:1 by volume. I just measured out on this yogurt cup 1:1, and I think I'm going to use blue pearl polycolor. This is also from Alumilite, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Alumilite polycolor blue pearl resin powder. No magic here, we just pour 1:1, so part 1. So this 2-part resin gets mixed. 1 part is thicker than the other, so you really want to make sure you scrape the sides of your containers and get those mixed really well. Take your time. This resin has a long enough open time that you can really take your time stirring. There's no, once it's mixed, it'll be pretty much clear instead of kind of cloudy. It starts out cloudy. Once I get it clear, then I like to add my colors and my dyes. So I'm adding the polycolor blue metallic and some blue opaque dye. I want to make sure it's opaque so that I don't see the magnets through the bottom. Continue to give that a good mix until I'm happy, and then we can pour it. So I decided the blue is a little bit plain, so I'm adding some black metallic resin powder and just giving that a stir to add a little bit more interest to the bottom of the pieces. All right, it's the next day and it is time to take those pin dishes out of the pressure pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them and I'll be right back. Let's hope that they look good.